I've seen Brazil, Ecuador. That's what we just talked about. So Brazil is on the top. Argentina is the second team on the table with 11 points. They drew against Chile, who were struggling before that game with 4 points. Now they're on the 5 points. That game got 1-1 stalemate. Uh, I was going to say something about this Argentine team. I think there's some hope, but there's some disappointment with this team, especially when you think of some games. They're really, when I'm talking about some games, it's Peru versus Peru in Lima. That game was outstanding from Nico Dominguez, Lo Celso, and even for someone like Leandro Paredes. But this particular game that was played, I thought the team selection was a bit of a question mark, given that Lucas Ocampos, in the second half of the season with Sevilla, gone quiet, especially after his miss against Barcelona, the penalty miss against
Yeah.
in Copa del Rey. That changed
Completely.
his entire season. He was a confident player, and he now is not. So going into that game, I'm just going to bring up that tactical board. So if this rectangular team is Chile, and Lautaro Martinez was starting as a striker, and Leo Messi was more kind of a floating role around here, and he could drop off. But they went with inst- they had success with 4-3-3, but somehow they went with 4-4-2, with Angel Di Maria and Ocampos coming um, onto the flank, and Rodri de Paul was the only player who could carry the ball or could carry the ball forward, but he was covering like 30-40 years. And the moment I saw that team, except Edu Vargas on the Chile, Sanchez was staying here to carry the ball, and there was no Arturo Vidal, so there was no attempt from Chilean team to actually get much offensive.
Mhm.
There was Aranguiz, who was more notable with the Fiorentina man Pulgar, was on the midfield for them. And all of them were really packing back, especially in the second half after they got their goal. But Emi Martinez started thanks to Armani's COVID positive
Mhm.
test. But somehow I'm still not sure about this tactics and the role of Paredes. He's not going to cover, and he's not going to be that strenuous number 5 for you. And somehow Argentina had this one Foyt, who's a more defensive kind of right back. So they
Mhm.
and Tagliafico was getting high up, but Tagliafico was slowing down a lot of transitional attacks too, for some
Mhm.
reason. So they had these three guys. Coming. They had Christian Romero. Is making his debut, who was very impressive. Foyt was coming up, but a solid three started with Martinez. Quarta was not really impressive, and they had to get a substitution in the first half, and with that thing, the midfield didn't look. I mean, the ball transition for me wasn't. It was slow. I think they missed Giovanni Lo Celso on that midfield, or even someone like Emi Buendia, who's been selected. I think that inclusion of another extra midfielder could have made a huge difference, rather than having Ocampos and Di Maria both starting in the flank, and they're not doing much in the flank anyway. Di Maria had some, cutting in, but he was not. he was going solo, and except that one pass to the Lautaro Martinez, he wasn't really that impressive, and he was not in the sync with the team. Ocampos, when he's not in form, he tries too much, and it doesn't come up as good. Lautaro Martinez wasn't really getting much service, and when he was getting, I think some of the run or some of the ball wasn't really, the timing wasn't really right. Um, so it's all about Messi. Messi's free kick, Bravo was saving. Messi's shot, Bravo was saving. So it was Messi versus Bravo a little bit. Other than that, there's not much to talk about from Chilean side because they never really thought of playing, and they're really happy with this 1 point.
Actually, I would interrupt. Like the match actually ends before it started because like teams when a teams like decided to like defend at all cost. Like you cannot be like playing with 4-2 formation is like a suicidal or something like this
Yeah.
because you have to be more vertically distributed. Like even like formations like 3-1-4-2 or something like this. This would actually like yeah, this would actually help because
And the ball movement
you
was
need
really slow. Uh,
yeah yeah you
the
need
movement of
like
the ball was really slow. I thought,
yeah
and the transitional play when they're getting it to the Nico Tagliafico, somehow he didn't have one support, or he didn't know how to deal with that. So some of the attack was dying on the left flank. On the right flank, Fuad wasn't really overlapping, and
mm,
putting all the support to the midfield. So actually, Rodri de Paul from Udinese was covering Paredes towards the entire right area and also carrying the ball. So you're giving too much of responsibility to one guy, and it looked a little like one extra another body in the midfield would have
mhm.
helped.
Well, like I said, like you cannot actually play with a vertical, like a horizontal formation against this defending team because it would be like it would make
It
any
was more
sense
like a
actually.
4-5-1 from Chile rather than
And
4-4-2. Yeah.
yeah, so like another thing is that you need those 1-2s like closer to the box so that you can actually like make some space for to shoot so that would actually create more times and
Or you
like
need sometimes it's harder if it's packed in the middle. It's
Mhm.
harder to get the space, and you in South America will get, the tackles are really low bone crunching tackles. They're not going to hold back. And with the five substitution, they know if someone is an yellow card, they can be taken out.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so it's more tactically aware of committing foul, giving no space at all, kicking the back. So it's not that easy to play that. And the passing tempo, once the passing tempo gets going, like you need someone like Lo Celso. I'm saying it, an extra passer, or you could
Mhm.
free up Leandro Paredes from number 5 role. You have Lisandro Martinez,
Lisandro Martinez,
who
yeah.
could play in different position, or Guido
Yes.
Rodriguez, who plays for Real Betis at that position. You could free up either Leandro Paredes from that, but Leandro
And
Paredes is not a very good player when someone is pressing to him.
actually, like they actually the thing about Argentina is that they actually forgot what they are known for.
Yeah.
So, for example, like they are known for this tango, like 1-2s, like
Yes.
two players are like giving each other balls and then suddenly they go somewhere like nobody can see and something like this. Like they have players but they need to actually like arrange those players in these positions like 4-4-2 is not a like
And that's
never
why
never
I
is
was asking a question when we talked about a little bit about Belgium, all the different continent. They have a particular set of system, and Martinez didn't change it. Roberto Martinez didn't change it. William and Scaloni, I thought he got the mojo of 4-3-3 or sometime even 4-1-3-2 or something like that. But seeing him in every game with different tactics, I kind of wonder. He has Papu Gomez on the bench, never used. He has
Yeah,
Emi Buendia was in the bench, but he's not even started. He's a player of the championship in the English and promoted Norwich and probably going to Aston Villa very soon. Um, you have Giovanni Lo Celso, who made a difference against Paraguay when they're trailing 1-0, and he came in and that changed the game and almost win it. And that controversially, the goal was disallowed from Lionel Messi, if you could remember back in September 2020.
yeah.
Not 2020, I think it was. Yeah,
2019.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now it seems
Wow.
like a long time. Um, yeah, and Nico Gonzalez, because of his versatility, and he's still kind of injured, but there's enough talent on that team to get a better, better version of football. But again, the opposition is set up to play for draw. Similarly, Ecuador played for Brazil, but somehow Brazil got it.
Actually, like Argentina, what they have, like they have this mental, how can I say, like
Dependency.
mentally, yeah, like they mentally, how can I say, after like losing three finals in a row,
Yeah.
they kind of like and in 2018 was a disaster because of the defensively. So like they kind of like
Everywhere, not just
hold back,
defensively. It
like
was whole
they yeah
2018 was disaster. Yeah.
yeah. So like they kind of like holding themselves, like they don't have this confidence, like yeah, let's make it, let's do it, let's do our natural play. So like they don't have this anymore, like but you need a coach like
So you're saying that there is no identity of this team.
I would say like they don't have this identity at all. Like even if you are deciding to play 4-4-2, like if you have to defend or something like this, even it's not a Argentine way of playing,
Yeah.
you have to do something like not like bits and pieces of everything. But
Yeah, but good to see
usually,
Nico Otamendi wasn't. He was suspended. He was not in the back, and
yeah,
he's an error prone. He's not really a very
yeah, he's
dependable
not that.
person.
Yeah, he's not that dependable as he was like four
Romero
five
looks to
years
be
ago.
very
Yeah,
good, and Lisandro Martinez came in second half, but the infatuation of the Martinez quarter, uh, I don't know, and the right back seems to be still a problem because whenever Gonzalo
yeah,
Montiel is not playing, it's the right back doesn't overlap as much. And in modern
and
football,
if you
it's tough
yeah.
if you have a very defensive setup for one wing, so you're paralyzing one side of the game.
Yeah, like yeah, and if you want Messi to perform, he needs backup. Like I said with Neymar, like he didn't get support and he had to go down and do all kinds of stuff like like
Exactly.
making move against like 11 players. It's not possible. So like so you need someone to hold like carry the ball to the
Yeah,
midfield or
that's what
something like
I
this,
was
or
getting
make
at.
a
Yeah, that's
one
what
or
I was
two.
getting at. That it was only Rodri de Paul who had that defending plus carrying the ball. It's not easy job for one guy to do 90 minutes. You need another body, and they have
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Papu Gomez, well known for Atalanta. He done that,
Yeah, he has probably the best season in his life in
and also you have Giovanni Lo Celso, who played under
yeah.
Mourinho. Obviously, understandably, he's one of the finest
and
passers in that
and
team.
also like Mourinho, like a coach like Mourinho liked him. It's under like I was actually surprised.
Yeah, it
But
was it was not his best fit, but he still somehow get into the good books of Jose
yeah,
Mourinho. Uh, so yeah, just a little bit. I still think uh, there's a there's a backup I mean, there's no Paulo Dybala for Argentina as a backup, and somehow I thought at 27, if Paulo Dybala is not selected for this World Cup qualifier, and also obviously he had a very rough season. He didn't really start much because of injury, but if he doesn't really get into this Copa America and there's 1 year of World Cup, if they qualify, are we going to see Paulo Dybala at all at World Cup? I don't believe so. If that's the trend,
I don't think he would fit in actually because fit in the plan
yeah,
of Scalini. So I don't know. Like I would say no.
yeah, that's a very disappointing because
B-
I like him
Yeah,
as a
that's a bit
player,
disappointing.
like him as a player a lot, and that's it's
Yeah,
a
he could actually, how can I say, yeah, he could actually played as a false nine,
yeah.
or probably like it would actually makes Messi, how can I say, more space in the right wing area because of the defender are pushing in, so
Yeah,
he had a chance to sneak in, and also like
or the person
players
to
like
play 1-2.
Lautaro, yeah, or the person to play 1-2. So I would say I would choose Dybala
And probably give it a
in
go.
the
And they had this
yeah,
chance, especially
exactly.
in this Copa, they could have experimented a bit. Although I'm not sure if the Copa is happening or not. But the Copa, the format is right now is five team, and one team from each group gets eliminated. So there's a lot of games
Uh,
you can actually experiment. And I was really surprised that he was not really considered.
Also, yeah, like also like both of them actually, like Lautaro Martinez and Paulo Dybala both can actually play the second striker role. So
Yeah.
like they wouldn't mind like being in the side or like any side of the pitch. So yeah, it would make some space for Messi. I guess I would actually go for Dybala so that like the attacking would be solid, and yeah, players like Lo Celso, Paredes, Lanzini, and
Well, Lanzini,
yeah,
I don't think he's in the picture at all.
no, he's
There
not in the
is
picture right
no.
now.
I don't think he's in the picture. There's obviously that's why Buendia is coming, and I'm really excited about him. He's very talented, and hopefully he makes it. The player that people don't really talk about much because I know from Club America, Guido Rodriguez
Mm.
is a very solid player, and Leandro Paredes, although he's in number five, he's not a really natural number five. So
Yes,
against a bigger team, there's always that risk of Paredes being left alone, and also sometimes the match temperament of Paredes can be a bit like crazy. So Paredes is definitely a good player, but I don't know how much constantly he can do the job of a defensive midfielder. He definitely needs the help of Rodri de Paul.
he's more like for me like a number six. Like
Yeah,
he could actually play
the
number six.
extra cushion.
Yeah, extra cushion. So like
Uh, yeah,
yeah, like we said, like yeah, players like midfield is kind like midfield lineup. Even like in the bench, it looks solid,
yeah.
and but also like there is no replacement of
And also
Lautaro Martinez
I
right
was
now.
also seeing the game of Colombia versus Peru. Colombian side is very physical. They had the height, especially this Yerry Mina scoring from the first corner against Peru. Is this giant guy, and then I was thinking against Romero against Zapata. Well, Romero now plays with Zapata in the same club, Zapata and Muriel.
Mhm.
I was thinking, why don't, if you have selected Palomino, why don't give him a shout? He's a giant guy, in a good form, plays for Atlanta, had a very good season. Why don't give him a go in one game when you have to defend from set pieces against these giant guys, rather than sticking with Otamendi? I don't know. I was just thinking it might be too much for to ask from Scaloni, because there's a lot of appeasing to be done, especially for local media. They had these three local players. Armani is being constant, who's 35 by the way. Gonzalo Montiel is the right back who is still in consideration because right back is not sorted yet. And I like Julian Alvarez. I think he's one of the finest players to keep playing for Argentina for a long time. I've seen him. He's a very special player. I think he has long future with him to go. Uh, but yeah, I really hope that Argentina could do something really good so they can be a power at least going into the next year's World Cup if they can
Yeah,
qualify.
like yeah, I still have like 1 year to prepare for the World Cup. So like I think it would be sorted out if they play more matches because
Yeah,
they haven't actually played for 1 year. So like it changed a lot.
and I
Like
think I
the
think
players who are in the front line.
except Lionel Scaloni, the assistance of him, I have more confidence on them rather than Scaloni. To be honest, there's Roberto Ayala, there's Walter Samuel, and even Pablo Aymar comes in sometime in
Yeah.
under 17. So I have uh, I see the team of the coaching except Scaloni. I mean, sometimes it makes a lot more sense. But
But
again,
finally, the head coach decides. So
yeah,
that's the thing, actually. And one more thing. There is no natural replacement of Lautaro Martinez. So, if he's not having his day, it would be
that's what I
hard.
was thinking. They always
Like,
depends on Lucas
like
Alario.
football is, yeah, like football is all about scoring goals.
Yeah.
In the end, those who scored more goals, they wins. So like they
Well,
win,
they
and so
have
like
still Sergio Aguero on the
well,
on the team.
well,
He's still
we have seen
33.
him play before. Yeah, we have seen him playing. So like I have not much hope, but I don't know. Like for some reason,
Some
um,
reason I don't know. They have Sergio Aguero thing going on. Martinez is obviously now undisputed starter of the striker position, and also Lucas Alario, who looked to be coming back from injury. I don't know how much fit he's going to be. Um, then comes Julian Alvarez, who's not really a natural nine. He's more of a number 10. Um,
do you know about the Simeone? Um,
yeah, Simeone is really
how is he
not doing
not in
well.
form?
Cagliari,
Okay.
I've looked at his some of the games. He's
Because he was doing pretty well until 2019-20 at the time.
first half of the
But
season was okay. Then
yeah,
somehow the change of managers and something has changed, and then he didn't
okay.
really. He was coming as a substitute in Cagliari, and they somehow escaped the relegation. It was not really doing well. There is curious case of Mauro Icardi, who
Mm.
sometimes you wonder if he really likes football at all, and he's not in a good term with whatever team he plays for. Sometime in Paris he seems to be relegated to a second choice from Moise Kean was starting, and
Yeah, I don't know.
very
I don't.
talented goal scorer, but very good poacher. But he doesn't really touch much the ball. He doesn't get
I
involved
don't.
much.
Yeah, I don't think he's a team player at all. Like he plays for himself. It's
Or he's
always
a
like this.
different kind of player who needs some crosses that he
Yeah,
could he could end the service. But that's another option if you're thinking of the bench. But I don't know if he's been considered. And I was really hopeful about Chimi Avila, but he was unfortunate about both injuries that he had right and left leg. But the way he was going seems to be the guy who is a natural replacement for at least.
but it's also like I was talking about the strikers position because you need like in Copa America or in playing in South America, you need someone to threat in the air, like
Well, they
against
had
other team.
Adolfo Gaich.
So like
He's training with the under 23 team, I guess, for that upcoming Olympics.
okay,
So
So like,
Gaich is very highly rated, especially in the under 23
mhm,
level, and he scored against Juventus that famous win of Benevento.
yeah,
I think the guy is a natural goal scorer and very good at with the ball at his feet and a natural number 9 that you can see from long term for long term that can play there. The talent is there. There are other players such as, uh, but again, they're not as you're not going to get another Gabriel Batistuta or Hernan Crespo sort of player as of yet. But Lautaro Martinez, if he's in form, he's in very good form. But if Lautaro Martinez gets somehow injured or not in good form, I don't have much options from the bench other than Sergio Aguero. You're really bidding on. Uh, let's see how they're fair. They do in the upcoming games, and especially against Colombia in Barranquilla. It's going to be hot. It's going to be tough, physical battles, and it's going to be interesting. But if they keep getting draws, it's going to be a problem in South American qualification because it gets tricky. And then you have game against Brazil and Uruguay is your eternal two rivals left. It's going to get tight, and other teams are going to get some point and get closing on you. And then all of a sudden, after a few games, 3 or 4 games, you can find yourself from second position to seventh position in no time, right? So
yeah.
that's how qualification happens.